For full episodes as they air, listen to Rants Hollywood Talk on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, and blogtalkradio.com/GrantsRants.
Broadcasting from Hollywood, California, it's Grant's Rants Hollywood Talk.
It's all about reality TV. Does OJ need his own reality show? Does Ryan Seacrest need American Idol? Does anyone? And we look at news breaking from the set of the Real Housewives of Dallas, Atlanta, Beverly Hills, and we examine OC with Christian Snow. Let the ranting begin. I am sitting across from media assistant and Housewives superfan Christian Snow.
Hello. How are you?
Good to see you here at the Rants. We're here to talk about reality TV. We're having a Housewives deep dive, kind of a state of the Housewives, a look at 100% reality TV in this episode. So
Housewives deep dive, I'm certainly in the right place.
Yes.
For sure.
And that's it. You know, Christian and I connected on Twitter because we're always tweeting about the Housewives and bonding over that. So what better guest to have to talk 100% reality TV than Christian Snow?
Happy to be here.
Yes.
Happy to do it. Let's get started.
Yes. There will be some classic Housewives lines popping in and out of this episode. Ooh. So I ask you all to
pay attention, please.
Let's get ready. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming in.
Cue the table flip.
Yes, let's chat about first, before we get into Housewives, OJ Simpson. It was announced this week that he's leaving. He has parole October 1st, we all know. But now, according to these articles, quote, everyone in town is shopping OJ a reality show. And the main question is, can he do this with being on parole? Is someone going to approve of this? You know, does he really need the money? What do you think?
Well, I imagine he definitely needs the money, I would say. I mean, any money that he did have prior to going to prison was probably, wouldn't his family or kids have access to that? He's been away for almost 10 years, which is a long time. Yeah. But can I just say, all right, like I know that in the Housewives world, we have a felon on our hands who I supported, we're talking about Teresa, obviously. Yeah. And, Housewives literally waited to film for her while she was in prison, and I was okay with it. But it does kind of surprise me, like, who in the world wants to give OJ Simpson a reality show? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, do we have any morals ever? But I guess I can't be too surprised, correct?
Yeah, I wasn't too surprised. I think I don't know. I think a cable network like A&E might do this.
I'm thinking Lifetime maybe would even be a good one. Yeah,
I didn't think about that. Yeah, I was curious to know like what you think. Where you think that this could go? Who would buy the show?
Well, it's definitely going to be one of these like off networks that are maybe like in the middle of a rebranding stage. I know Lifetime is in the middle of buying lots of new shows. For example, they bought Kim Kardashian's, makeup guru show that it's in production right now.
I definitely won't be tuning in to that.
That's hateful. Don't say that. And I mean, wasn't Dance Moms on Lifetime? So like Dance Moms, like Prison Dads. I don't know. I just feel it's not like E is going to pick them up, obviously. No. Bravo's not going to do it. So I think it's going to have to be like you said, A&E or Lifetime. I would say a limited series type of thing.
I would hope a limited series. I think people aren't that interested in following him around, for like 16 weeks. I don't think people really care. He's a man of 70. So it's like you have to kind of look at that for what it is too. It's a 70-year-old man not
like how
leading
interesting
a reality
can his
show.
life be,
Yeah, exactly. Well, he still owes, he's paying off $33.5 million for the judgment in the civil case with Nicole and Ron. So that's still going on.
I had no idea that he owed money like that. That's a ton of money.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Variety put out an interesting article, and they took the opposite side of what we're saying, where we say it could happen. They wrote an article, and it's the title is "Why OJ Simpson Should Never Work in This Town Again." And they talked about the 80s and 90s nostalgia and how, the People versus OJ really brought him back to the top of mind, which is true.
Yeah.
And people love that time period. But I don't know if there's an audience for him long term. I think maybe they should do like I feel like in the old days, they would have done like a Dateline special, like an hour. He's back in society and put it to bed.
That's it. Well, you got to think though, is the People versus OJ Simpson on FX, that created, not only did that like give life to all these people that were into this years ago, I mean, it created a whole new, sense of knowing for people like, especially in like my age group, like you've always known about it, but you never really had something that allowed you to look into the details of it unless you decided to sit down and Google it one day.
Yeah.
And so, that show really, I mean, it gave life to that case again. It really did. And I think that as crazy and / messed up as it is, if someone puts him on TV, I mean, the viewership's going to be there, no doubt,
the article really tried to like take the air out of the story in general and say, look, he had such a quote array of crimes behind him that put him away for 9 years. He's still not a good guy. Why would people want to give him a platform? And then
I agree with that.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't think that there's much that people should be showing. I mean, I think that if they do, people will watch, but I don't see any reason to approach him with an idea like that personally.
Yeah. They referenced the book, If I Did It, and said that's also extremely poor taste. And I forgot about that book. And apparently there was a big Fox special they were going to do to highlight him and this book. And then one by one, everybody cancels, and then they canceled the book. So the article really fears a redemption for him and say, America forgives. And what does this mean for him? I mean, whoever wrote this article is not a fan of him.
Well, believe it or not, while it may seem crazy to both, you and I, there are people out there who believe that maybe he didn't do it, and while I do think that, after watching the FX series that probably LAPD planted evidence and things like that, I do think that there was some wrongdoing maybe against him to some degree. However, I don't think it's safe to assume that he is completely innocent of the issue. I don't know. We'll see. I think it would be a lot more interesting to have like an in-depth 3-part like sit-down interview, like between he and like Barbara Walters, or like he and
anybody
someone,
else. I mean, a homeless man on the road can ask him questions better than Barbara Walters.
Anyone. I just think that would give people a lot more of the like insight and maybe the answers that they're looking for. I mean, and really, isn't that, aside from money, isn't that the reason he would want to do this show, is to not clear his name, but to give answers and to speak for himself, and I think that a sit-down interview will do that much better than, someone following you for 6-7 weeks,
Well, Wendy Williams did poll her audience, and she said, would you be offended if I had him on as a guest? And people didn't know how to answer. She's pain in the ass. But so they
of course she would go there.
Yeah. So count on it is what I'm saying. Count on him. If he doesn't do the reality show, he'll still be everywhere.
Oh, he's going to be everywhere, 100%. Yeah. I think he gets released October 1st, so everyone should go ahead and prepare their lives that it will be OJ Day all forever.
Yes. I wonder, that October 1st is really going to be it. I wonder if people are going to view him as Tamara will view him, perhaps.
Get out of here. Nobody wants you. Nobody likes you. You are the meanest person in the world. You are going to go to hell.
If there is someone who is mean and or going to hell, I hate to say it, but it might be OJ Simpson. Tamara's right in that aspect.
That was a classic moment with her yelling at Gina before Gina's gay through the glass.
Poor Gina, No wonder you're getting a divorce.
That was exactly good moments. I just love filtering their point of view throughout these heavy topics on Grant's Rants. Let's take a look at my rant of the day.
Grant Rant of the Day.
My rant of the day has to go to ABC. It was originally going to go to Ryan Seacrest because he's coming back as the full-time host. Yes, officially, of this new, long, non-awaited season.
New? Is it safe to call it new? I don't think it's
not
new.
Anymore. Yeah. If they've got him as the face, and that's my rant. ABC, if you wanted to bring this show back, you should have done something completely new, out of the box, and redefining. This is lazy. It's the same thing. Nobody cares. I have no interest. I was going to give it to Ryan Seacrest, but I can't blame a man for taking a paycheck and getting a job. But ABC, if you're going to bring the show back with all this fanfare and pay Katy Perry $25 million, you need to figure out a new direction.
Okay. So I have lots of things I need to say. Number one, if and only if they are going to do a reboot, the number one thing that needs to be there is Ryan. I'd have to disagree with you in that.
Really?
Ryan is American Idol. I mean, Ryan came up with American Idol.
Well,
you know what I mean?
true.
American Idol is what made Ryan Seacrest as we know him today.
I get that. And that goes to my point, though, of why they need to not put him on there if they're going to make this a new show.
Well,
because
I think
it's more of
that
the same.
They could have made it a new... I think it's safe to have him there. I think that he brings not only the nostalgia factor to viewers, but... Okay, for me, that's number one. I think that he should be there. I will say that. The biggest problem for me is if you are going to, number one, bring American Idol back, and number two, do it this soon, right? This is, we can all agree that this is too soon, correct? I mean, give me 3 more years. It's like, I would love it, even 2.5 more years, 2 more years. But to not have Kelly Clarkson as a judge, throw the idea out the window. Like, burn the papers, save it for 3 years from now. I do not care. You know what I mean? Right. Because for me, that's what's going to bring your viewership in. That's what's going to bring these people back to this. Speaking for myself anyway, I just think that what better way to do a reboot and bring back the show than with the original idol, like the original person whose life was changed forever. The person that was given to us through this show.
She really is the original
Of
American
course.
Idol.
And not only is she amazing, but then for them to, word on the street is that the reason that she signed with The Voice instead of Idol was that The Voice was more willing to pay her the money that she wanted. Mm-hmm. So you're going to pay Katy Perry $25 million, someone who literally cannot sing live, versus your number one, alumni who requested a little bit of money and you didn't want to give that to her. That's a problem to me.
No, all the hints and following the crumbs of the upcoming season of American Idol, none of it sounds right or appealing to me. And it sounds like they're just trying to do what's really safe. Mm-hmm. What they should do is they should find the new Ryan Seacrest and see who else is hosting a radio show nationally or someone else that's
I get that
10 20 years younger that could be the new, other than it's like Mario Lopez,
Carson Daly,
the guy from The Talking Dead. He does everything.
Can't think.
Chris Hardwick. And then Ryan, I don't know, what can I say? That's
my opinion.
That's it for my rant on American Idol. I won't be watching, but one show I absolutely will be tuning in for is the Real Housewives of Dallas.
Woo! This is how we do it.
I'm so into it. And look, I know a lot of people, I read the comments, some people don't want to get into another one. Some people never gave it a chance. Some people were turned off by all the charity talk. I get it. But I think people should give this one a shot because this one is like a cartoon of the Housewives.
I love the Dallas ladies. Not only, so they are friendly, online to viewers and fans and stuff, but
very accessible.
They have, for the most part, they have money. Like Stephanie, loaded. Brandy, loaded. They're bringing in 2 new girls. Apparently both of them are loaded. I'm here for it. I love them. I think they're fun. They're South with a little bit of flair and some money. I'm here for it. I love them.
Yeah. And who doesn't love Leanne?
Lord, Leanne Locken. I can't. She's a little out there for me.
Yeah.
A little out there.
I like her. I've heard really good things, even when they were in production. I've heard they extended the episode order. This is just word on the street, no inside intel. But that it was as good. It was better than they expected.
They say season 2 is going to be a lot more than what we were expecting.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the reason that people didn't respond so well to season 1 was because the women didn't know for the majority of the season that they were going to be a Housewives series. Yeah. And I think they all have Housewives potential for sure. I think that them not really knowing what they were doing for a while had an effect. So I'm excited to see them back. I know that Stephanie and Brandy's friendship's going to be tested a little bit, which low-key breaks my heart, but I think they'll find their way back to each other.
Yeah. Leanne is smashing a bottle or a glass on the floor, which I love.
She is coming for that Bravo check.
Yes. I said to her, I was like, I won't miss that moment on Twitter. And she tweeted back, yes, honey, we are on hashtag plastic cups only now.
Safety first.
Yes, love her.
Don't want Leanne putting someone's eye out.
And they actually look like they're going on a decent trip. They're going to Mexico. We've seen almost every city go to Mexico.
Every
at this
city
point.
goes to Mexico, except Jersey, I think.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're another one with some real discount trips. I mean, the TripAdvisor is just not making any money on that.
They're going back to Italy this year. It's like you've already been there.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Of course, that show doesn't have an original idea left. It's sad.
They don't.
Yeah, it's sad. But Dallas, I'm in for, no matter what. And, the one person that just doesn't do anything for me on that show is Carrie. And they said that she balances home and work, which means she has no storyline. We've seen all the extraneous fringe housewives try to balance work and home life, and that's the last thing they do.
I love Carrie. I will say a big part of me loving Carrie, though, is I love Mark, her husband, and I think that he has... Am I allowed to curse on here? Can you?
Well,
he has bleep wonderful taste in women's clothing and fashion, and I think that the bags and the shoes and the dresses that he gets her are worth it. And I would watch them do that all day long. I would.
See, to me, that's good for like an episode, and then I'm like, all right, what else are you gonna do? I don't know. The Real Housewives of Dallas returns to Bravo on August 14th.
We're almost there.
Yes, coming up. So the two new housewives are Deandra. I heard that one's absolutely crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, I haven't heard much about the new ladies. I really haven't, other than the fact that they have money.
Yeah.
Which,
this one. She does have money. She's a Dallas native, and she's really eager to take over her family business. I guess that's going to be her storyline. Her mom looks hot in the show. In the preview. Fun. Yeah. And, I've heard good things about this one. The second is Cameron, and she's a Westcott.
Westcott, yes.
Westcott, yeah. And so that's a very prominent name in the Dallas area, apparently.
So what does her family do? Where's her money come from? Do you know?
She's from California, and she married in.
Oh, so his money was so
something.
good. She's like, I will relocate.
I will come to Dallas for this. And she's a big name in the charity world. Very important.
Watch out, Leanne.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And another thing about Cameron is that she's obsessed with pink. She's a girly girl, and she's coming out with a line of pink dog food.
Oh my God. This sounds like Lisa Vanderpump all over again. I'm already tuned out. I'm already over it.
I know.
Wait, what's the other new girl's name?
Deandra.
Okay, I'm a fan of Deandra, but not Cameron.
Yes.
How about
they
that?
say that Cameron's the Elle Woods, like she wants everyone to think she's less than smart. I don't know why.
Both the new girls, are they going to be full time? Do they taglines, main title card, everything?
I believe they're in that promo all standing together at the end. So yeah, my eye will be on all of that.
I can't wait.
Yes. And then there's the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Woo! We're just going through the cities a little bit. Not all of them, but stuff that's breaking. The
ones that matter.
Yeah. Yes. Like Jersey.
Uh-oh.
But no, I feel like for me, I've been thinking and relaxing over the summer and traveling and relaxing in the pool. And I'm like, I wish there was a podcast that just kind of touched upon housewives in general, not just a straight recap. Like what's going on? The same way that Reality Tea and other housewives blogs and daily, what do they have it over on Bravo?
Daily Dish, yes.
Yeah. They touch upon different things in the cities. Like, why can't all this just be in one place? So that's kind of where this show came from, where I was like, let's check in and see what was making headlines and what we want to talk about.
Yes, let's check in. Yeah, there was some Atlanta tea as recent as last night, early this morning. Have you seen that?
Wait, you have to fill us in.
Have you not been on Brielle's Twitter today?
No, I don't follow her.
Okay, well, as we all know, Kim Zolciak is back for season 10. Probably not full time. I don't think she's going to have a tagline. I don't think she's going to be an official peach holder. But I've read that someone compared it to a few seasons ago when Luann was technically part time in New York, but it was because contract negotiations took so long. So I think that's kind of what Kim's going to do. Midway through the season, towards the end, she's going to appear more full-time. But word on the street, last night, Sunday night, Nene had a girls and gays white party in Atlanta. Of course, Kim Zolciak was there with Sheree, and Kenya came for Kim again. And I saw someone tweet, I don't know if this is true, so don't hold me to it, but I think Kenya may have called Brielle like a Cabbage Patch doll for the work that she's done on her face. And that ensued World War III. So Brielle tweeted some kind of a mean tweet about Kenya, but needless to say, season 10 is shaping up to be a great one.
Yeah, it looks good. I don't know if it's necessary to have Nene on the show, though. This is what I will say. She's returning, and, you know, Phaedra's out. Candy's full-time.
Bye, Fraldra.
Sounds like all the rest of them. Yeah. Anyone living under a rock would know that Phaedra's gone. But, you know, Nene, she said, quote, "It's been a long process, but we finally reached an agreement. All hail the queen for season 10. Hashtag the threat is back." You know, this just proves that there's all these negotiations and that it's all about money. It's not about rejoining friends or anything like that. And the threat is back. What's the threat? Who's the threat? Show me the threat.
Nene knows that Bravo is going to pay her to come in there and just destroy people with her one-liners. That's what Nene does. You know, Nene will throw, pardon my French, your shit out on the table, you know, and that's...
But she's cool with everyone, so who's the threat? Who's she threatening?
This season is going to be Nene versus Portia and Nene versus Kenya.
Okay, well...
Yes, those will be Nene's beats for this year. Of course, she's cool with Cynthia. I believe that as a friend of Cynthia is kind of how they'll naturally bring her back into the show, like her and Cynthia hanging out. Then I think she and Sheree are okay. She posted a picture with Marlo last night, which is kind of crazy. The
ex-prostitute is back on the
show. Love Marlo. She is cray-cray. I'm here for it.
The alleged ex-prostitute.
The alleged, yes. So I think it'll be fun. You know, it's going to be messy, no doubt. But listen, it's season 10. You know, going back to, you know, like nostalgia on these television shows, I think that it just makes sense. They brought Sheree back recently in the past couple of years.
Well, that was good. Yeah.
Nene obviously needs some money, and bless her, I love Kim, but, you know, Croy is not working either. So it just makes sense. They're all coming back, the OGs. You know, I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. My problem in general is that these housewives who refer to themselves as the queen, Lisa Vanderpump, this one, Nene, Teresa, they hold the show hostage with that title. You know, they put themselves, and Nene all but admitted it. She is on a higher level than all of these ladies. She's got a lot going on. She's cashing Trump checks. And
Nene does not have a damn thing going on these days. Let's be real. Go ahead.
Well, but that's what I'm saying, though. She drives me crazy that she's such on a higher level than everyone else when she isn't. And then here she is coming back, the queen, this big threat, and I just am not here for it. I really enjoyed last season, and we didn't see a scene or a mention of Nene, and I was cool with it.
Well, why do you think Nene's back? Is because she realized that this show can go on without her and that the ratings can be there without her, and she was having absolutely none of that. And I think that, let's be real, Nene is an OG. Nene has a lot of fans. You know, that's truth of the matter is Nene does have a following, bottom line. And, you know, we were talking earlier about like producers maybe constantly asking people back every year whether they do it or not. And I think that this is something she knows, that they're always going to be in her back pocket. They're always going to offer her a role to some degree, and it's up to her what she wants to do with it. And I think that she knew that if she didn't get back in now, because the thing is, 2 or 3 seasons go by and the ratings hold themselves, they don't need to pay you that much money to come back, what they were paying you before. She knows that. So she jumped back in when she had the opportunity. But I do, like I said, I do think it's going to be mess central. I think it's going to be hilarious, and I think it'll be a great 10th season, you know. We'll see. I
don't like when people say this is my show. I'm not about that. This is an ensemble show. They can get rid of you real fast. It's Bravo's show.
They can.
Yep. So my final
There's only
thoughts.
one person that can say that, and it's
yeah.
not in Atlanta, but
yes,
there's only one lady who, yes, this is her show that I will agree with. And she has said it before.
That's true. My thoughts on Nene all come down to this.
You f***ing had it with her. You guys will all see the truth. We'll all see the truth. Stop it.
Stop it, please.
Stop it.
I love that.
That's so funny. Rest in peace to fun Shannon. I'm sorry. Shannon used to be so fun and entertaining. Not anymore.
Shout out to Kim Zolciak on Atlanta, though, for really holding down 2 shows. Whatever happened to I Dream of Nene?
Nothing.
But this one has 2 shows. She said, this is another one, though. I have to hold Kim to the same standard. She said, look, I'm motivated by money. So she was honest doing
about
it for anything else either than that either. Yeah, so I don't know. I just think, I'm curious. You filled me in that Nene's there to go after Portia, which is an easy takedown.
It's an easy target. You know what I mean? That's like low hanging fruit for her. It's like everyone can go for Portia, bless her heart.
It's true. Yep. Well, Kenya Moore is going to be on the show, apparently. But she's been really milking this marriage of hers for press. Apparently, she got married. She's posted some photos. No one knows what he looks like until recently. And she's been slowly revealing his identity.
Yeah, it's pathetic. It's pathetic.
It's tired.
It's pathetic. It's like, I wish that Bravo would have showed her, you know what? You are not different from any of these people. Like, she is the biggest self-producing cast member in the entire history of this franchise.
And she always has been.
Always has been. Boyfriend. I mean, nothing about her is authentic or believable, in my opinion. And I'm just over it. You know, there was word on the street that maybe producers were wanting to get rid of her if she... I mean, to be honest, it is kind of messed up that she did that behind their back. You know, it's like she's been bringing all these fake relationships for years onto the screens for us. Why should we believe it now? Just because you got married? that doesn't mean anything to me. For all I know, you're paying him $1 and a nickel, just like you did the last few people, you know? So I think that Bravo should have done something for themselves and put their foot down and been like, you know what? The viewers don't really vibe with this. This is not genuine to them, and they should have cut their ties with her, because I think they could have had a great season without her. But
see, I'm a fan of hers. I really like her on the show, but really? I get it. I get it. It doesn't look.
It's just like I feel like I'm watching someone read their script and then directly go in front of the camera and do what they're told to do. It's just nothing to me seems real, or not even. I mean, like, she has some funny one-liners, but it's like they're also rehearsed now. It's just I'm not into it. I'm not into it.
Well, the new husband, Mark Daly, it just came out, and who knows, he does not like how black men are portrayed on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I can't argue with him there. I mean, they make a lot of the guys look like womanizers and dopes and stupid and lazy. So I get why he wouldn't want anything to do with it. But then there's always like these articles like Kenya has to make a choice, the show or her marriage and all of this.
Yeah. She should have had to make that choice. That's how I feel, you know?
She said as an argument to that he isn't in her contract, so she can show what she wants because he's not part of the contract.
She can absolutely show what she wants. That doesn't mean that anyone wants to see it, you know, and that doesn't mean that after this season, once she's boring as hell, that they're going to bring her back. Because are we really going to film, like, okay, for example, you know, Erica Jane in Beverly Hills. It's like Tom doesn't film with her that much, you know, but it's like she's made it known that his presence is there and that he's her husband and that he works a lot. It's like you can't have all this out in the public and then once the show starts, just not acknowledge it. You know what I mean? And not have him in your life. It just doesn't flow. That natural flow is not there, if you ask me.
Right. I don't know. I think that there are enough people on that show. Maybe she should just be a friend of.
Whose friend is she? No one likes her.
No one's ever liked Kenya on that show.
Listen, this is the telltale sign here. The second that Kim Zolciak stepped back onto the scene, did Kim and Nene ever film together back in the day before Nene left Atlanta? Did that happen? If so, it wasn't a long time. Okay. Mm-hmm. So for Kim to just come out of nowhere at Sheree's housewarming party on the season finale last year, and for Kenya to come for her the way that she did, that's number one. And then you take number two, what I told you about earlier, that's, you know, the filming has started for season 10. The first group event that they're all at, Kenya goes for her again. And not only that, goes for her child as well. That shows you Kenya is intimidated by Kim. Kenya's not intimidated by Nene. Kenya is intimidated by someone who has a 6-season series on Bravo, which is Kim. And she should be intimidated. And she knows that Kim is a Bravo star. She knows that Kim is coming in highly prized and highly favored. She also knows that the executive producer of Don't Be Tardy, Kim Spinoff, is now the new EP of Housewives of Atlanta. Kim's going to get a good edit. Bottom line, Kenya's going for her. Kenya knows that that's her key to relevance and for this season, and that's it. You know, she knows that there's going to be negative flack about her husband and that people are going to give her a hard time. So to stay relevant, she's going to attack Kim. Yeah. And that's exactly what's happening.
That's why watching these shows, no matter if you watch Atlanta or any of the others, it is kind of hard to suspend your disbelief. Like with me doing the recaps, you know, I know that they're highly edited and slanted, and, you know, the interviews, they're asked these questions so many times and they only put the controversial answer. So it's hard for me, but I analyze what I'm given and I enjoy what I'm given. Like New York Housewives, I know that show has all these contracts and behind the scenes and they reshoots and all this, but I enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah, of course.
Know, it's tough. I'm just glad that we have Sheree.
Who gonna check me, boo?
Can I just say, Sheree is a gift from God.
I love her.
She is. I mean,
the house girl, with like 2 rooms, like in a.
Can we just let's sing Sheree's song? Hell to the gnaw, to the gnaw, gnaw, gnaw.
Love her. When we return, we're going to be looking at Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Some news is coming out regarding the casting over there. Who's leaving, who's coming in, what type of names they're trying to cast, and who needs to be #demoted. Coming up with Christian Snow.
Let's do it.
You're listening to Grant's Rants. Subscribe and spread the word. There are a lot more rants to come. Listen anytime on all major podcasting platforms. And now, back to the show.
Oh, let's make a transition. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Woo! It's production season for them too. To
me, I'll be very honest. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is and I believe this is my opinion.
I'm listening.
I think it's in the same danger as that in which New Jersey has been in for a long time. I don't think it's as extreme, as damaged-wise as New Jersey is. I mean, I don't even know what to even do at that point with that show. But Beverly Hills, you've got Lisa Vanderpump, who is holding that show hostage.
Beverly Hills needs a revamp from the gods. Like, only God himself could revamp Beverly Hills, if you ask me.
Yep. And a lot of people wouldn't agree with us. People love following Kyle and her husband, and they love the white parties.
I love Kyle. I love Mauricio. I love their money game. I love their come up. To me, though, I think that getting rid of Lisa would change the whole scene of the show. I do. And
for good or for bad?
Oh, for good.
Yes,
I think
so.
The better good. But it will never happen, and I've accepted that. You know, it will never happen.
Just demote her. Just make her a friend of it. She can pop up here.
She would literally rather die and be 6 feet under at Hollywood forever than to be housewife or friend of housewife on that show. It's true.
No, she's another one. She's from day one with her contract with Jiggy and all that. She is very into the negotiations. This last season, it was only about her businesses. That was the only time we saw her. I think she had 2 scenes in her own home, like one outside and one in that living room, because it's all about the businesses. And that's why she went on that trip to Hong Kong. It's all strategic with her.
But it's also all she has. No one gives a damn about the old sex jokes with Ken. You know, we get it. You haven't given him, and you haven't put out in like 10 years. We got it. You've said that joke 50 times. Noted. Her kids are boring. Bottom line, her kids are boring. Stop trying to make Jason and Pandora happen. It's not going to happen, you know? And I think she's realized that. They were barely featured any on this previous season. And so all she has is her dog stuff. Who doesn't like dogs?
Right.
You know, that's all she has. And why do you think she tried so hard to kiss Kyle's butt all season long and defend Kyle? That's all she had. She was Kyle's defender in the midst of Lisa Rinna accusing, you know, of all the things with Kim, et cetera, et cetera. That is what Lisa's role was this season. And it's boring. Lisa has not brought anything to this show for probably 3 years now.
Oh, I agree.
And I don't understand.
Like with her and Teresa, you know, they hold those shows hostage by they have to be the center or whatever.
Teresa is New Jersey, bottom line.
Yeah, I get that. But she's another one who's like, I'm the queen of this show, too.
Teresa
and it drives me nuts. It's like an ensemble show, and, you got to pull your weight. I think it rotates, and I think OC is pretty good with whom it rotates, who holds the power on that show. But when it comes to Beverly Hills, Eileen is out. I love Eileen.
Aww.
But look, this show has way too many weak links. And so it's okay to let someone like her go because you've got Kyle, who hasn't done a damn thing, Lisa Vanderpump, who does even less, and you've got everything going on with Lisa Rinna. That's it. So we need to step up the game over there.
No one has worked in Beverly Hills. No one has worked harder for a Bravo paycheck than Lisa Rinna for the last 2 years. And that's the truth.
That's true.
But I'm happy that Lisa Rinna's back. I love Kyle, even though, I don't know, I will always be here for Kyle. I love the fact that 8 years ago she was bragging about shopping at Target. And then literally yesterday I'm watching her and her husband charter a private jet from Mykonos to Nice. You know what I'm saying? Like the come up is real. I'm here for it. But to me, I honestly think that in Bravo's eyes, getting rid of Lisa Vanderpump is like the biggest sin ever. But I just feel like no one knows how good it still could be without her. And she's just a waste of space. And people will disagree with that. There are probably people that would slap me in the face for saying that. But I'm sorry. Like, she has Vanderpump Rules. She's great on that, Give her that. I don't understand.
She has her own show. She can go do that. Yes. We're not putting this woman in the unemployment line.
It doesn't mean that she should never show her face on, like, they could always do dinners at Pump or Sir and, like, catch up. And
this is why I started the hashtag demote LVP. Get rid of her.
Hashtag, give me a shirt with that on it. I'll wear it to Pride at Pump next year. How about that?
Oh, that's ballsy. Yes.
Wait, but side note, before we switch away from Beverly Hills, I have to say...
We're not going anywhere yet.
Okay, well, I have to talk about Dorit. I love Dorit.
Yeah,
I don't care what anyone... I love her.
With Dorit, though...
Excuse me? Did you just say let's talk about the husband?
Let's not talk about what you don't want out.
That husband, though.
Were people doing cocaine in your bathroom?
That husband, though. Dorit's husband, I can't with that PK at all.
PK... Let's not talk about PK.
Husband.
Let's just pretend that Dorit and PK aren't married. And let's just prepare now for how an amazing storyline she's going to have in like 3 years when she divorces him and takes what little money he has left aside from all his lawsuits. And listen, no housewife has ever had the style and fashion sense that Dorit has. Bottom line.
She does look good.
She looks good. No, like when she walked in with her emerald cape dress and her high pony when she had the Boy George performance, I'll never get over it. Like, that was probably the best look of any housewife that I've ever seen in my life. And if you've been following her on Instagram, her fashion game is still on point, and I can't wait to see how she plays that out on the upcoming season.
Well, shout out to In the Field on Instagram. The name Lost for Love 91 sent me this snap. And this is from being, this is what was being shot. And there's some little inside information. Someone posted on Instagram, I had dinner at Villa Blanca last night. This is about 2 weeks ago.
People have dinner at Villa Blanca?
I know. She said, and the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills were filming. Camille confirmed to me she's on the next season. Kyle and Eileen were not there. Dorit was super involved with her son on camera. And then as soon as the cameras were off, she handed him to the nanny. And I have to clarify. Lost for Love 91 on Instagram sent me a screen cap of this story from a source. So this is just some inside intel.
Well, word on the street is that Camille and Adrian have been filming and that maybe their role in the show hasn't quite been determined yet. So I would say for them to be as willing to film with them as they are, at least Friend of Housewife is probably going to happen. But, okay. There's a cycle going on. We've talked about Atlanta and like the OGs coming back. And now we're talking Beverly Hills and it's like the OGs coming back. Like, as these shows get older, they know that this nostalgia factor is really what the viewers love. They love seeing the OGs and they love seeing the old housewives. And Camille's always been a fan favorite. Adrian is rich as hell. And so I think that they should be back. I think it would be great to have both of them back.
Yeah, I just think you got to have the current cast as strong as the former cast.
Yeah.
Then
But
you have a
also,
bowl game.
Like, where's Brandy? Can we get some mess happening up in here? Like, what's their
that's
drama
it.
going to be this year? That's what I really don't
Lisa
know.
Rinna, and that's becoming tired.
But see, bless her heart, Lisa Rinna, the only ally she had was Eileen. And a little bit of Erica Jane because, you know, she was nice to Erica, and Eileen and Erica were chummy. But I'm a little worried about, I feel like Lisa Rinna, this is going to be a bad season for her. She's going to be bombarded for sure.
Yeah.
I definitely think
when
so.
it comes to Adrian and Camille, I am okay with Adrian coming back as long as she attacks Lisa Vanderpump.
Oh,
that I would be
yes.
okay with.
Destroy her.
And I think many people would be surprised to hear I love Camille Grammer, but I don't think she needs to be back full time on the show. There are enough people who play it safe and, you know, who count their money, and we have a good time seeing the cars that they drive and the trips that they plan. But I need, you know, we're going to need like 2 Lisa Rinnas before we can introduce someone like Camille.
I get that. I do say I want Camille like legit friend of housewife though. I want her on all cast trips. I want her at most dinners. I want confessionals. You know, she might not have to have a tagline, but I want her presence to be there. I may be like a part in the reunion where she shows up to, you know, dish a little bit. I just, you know, a lot of people love Camille. She's fun. You know,
She's my ultimate.
She's one of the
picture of her in my own house.
I think Camille's like top 10 housewives of like all time, you know, like you know, she really is just, she's just one of those, you know, and I think that any capacity that they can bring her back in, as long as it's not too little, I'm happy with. So I hope that they're able to work her in as much as we're hoping so.
Casting in the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills looks like it's falling into a pattern of recognizable names or celebrity drop-ins, like Eden Sassoon with the last name, she's out. Then now they're and Boy George, you know, like that, to throw his name as many times as they could. And now they've got this. Teddy Mellencamp is supposedly coming on. She's really into fitness and wellness.
But who is Teddy Mellencamp? I've read about all the casting stuff. I've seen her name all over Twitter the past couple of weeks, but I haven't taken the time to see what she is known for, what she's doing, or her connection to the ladies. I'm not sure if who she's a friend of or anything like that.
That's what I'm saying, with this pattern of trying to find some type of recognizable surname versus doing the work of finding just Jane Smith, who's a huge bitch who lives in Bel Air. Put her on.
I want to just go sit on the corner in Beverly Hills and just wait for a good woman to walk by so I can find her and be like, I'm about to change your life. I'm about to put you on this TV show, and you and I together, we're going to destroy these people. You know what I'm saying? We're going to make you a force to be reckoned with. But I like that, you know, I think they were the first city to bring in, you know, even with like Rinna and Eileen back in the day. I remember being in college and reading that they were bringing Rinna on, and I was like, what are they doing? Like, she's an actress. They're going to hurt the authenticity of the show. I'm sorry. But I was completely wrong. You know, within the first episode of watching Rinna, I was like, I totally get it. She's funny. She's fun. And I'm sorry, but Rinna comes to claim her check. She works hard. She comes in and she's like, look, we're all here for one reason. I'm here to hold you all accountable for everything. I'm here to start some shit, and then we're going to go home, and I'll see you tomorrow, you know? But there are so many, obviously, you know, Beverly Hills is like the LA franchise. There are just so many people I would love to have on that show. Like, I think that Leah Remini would be an amazing Beverly Hills housewife. I think Tori Spelling would be an amazing Beverly Hills housewife.
Do it for nothing.
Oh, and Tori Spelling would go ape shit on camera. We're talking about working hard for a paycheck like Rinna. Tori Spelling would put her to shame. You know she would. Yeah, I know. I think a good LA Rams wife would be awesome now that the Rams are coming to town. I don't know. You know, I think that there are so many possibilities there that they could do. But I think that Bravo's too comfortable with what they have with that cast, you know.
Let's turn our attention to the Real Housewives of Orange County.
Yes.
Perhaps our favorite one.
Not perhaps, for sure.
OC, I feel like people either love or hate it. And for me, I've always loved it.
I don't know how you could be a Housewives fan and hate Orange County. To me, Housewives of Orange County is the gift that keeps on giving. It constantly delivers. I mean, when's the last time they had a dull season? I don't remember. Every season is lit, you know?
And there's a lot of screaming on
Lots
OC,
of screaming.
which I do love. Like this classic moment.
You're not a mother! You have no idea what it's like!
it's like.
Wait. Can we throw back to the original iconic scream? How do you expect to fit all these people in a little family van?
I was almost going to put that in here. I was like, Matt, I think I might say
6 people, 12 suitcases.
Vicky, perhaps the housewife with the most screaming lines, and I love it. Good for her.
I worship Vicky Gunvalson. That's the truth.
And she's the one. This is her show.
Vicky, if you are listening, you are my number one, my main B, the OG of the OC.
See,
no one will ever compare.
From the same cloth because a lot of people don't care for her, and a lot of people find OC boring because it's a different flavor from the others. But if you're in it, you are in it for life.
My soul is committed to that show, no doubt. And I will say, I recently, and probably like the last year or so, have become a part of a lot of like Bravo fan groups on Facebook. And I genuinely had no idea, even amongst Twitter. And you know, people like Bravo fans on Twitter are very vocal about how they feel. Yeah. But never on Twitter did I get the impression that I got from these Facebook groups. But a lot of people really, really, really don't like Vicky. And I really didn't know that. And it kind of breaks my heart because anyone who knows me, I have always said Vicky is my number one. Of all the cities, all the wives, no matter what, cancer, no cancer, I don't give a damn. Vicky's my girl, you know?
I love an original. I love Baby One More Time, OC, Vicky Gunvalson.
It's about respect.
Yes,
you know?
I agree. I'm very loyal to a fault almost. Well, on OC, Lydia is really taking this friendship whisperer thing to the next level. She's admitted she has not kept up with the show. She hasn't kept up with any of the ladies. Even Vicky said, oh, I like some of your pictures on Instagram. And here she is trying to be this peacemaker. Too much too soon? I mean, we've at the time of recording the show, we're only 2 episodes in.
I do understand how the viewers are probably like, it's a little too much too soon. But this is the thing. Lydia is a producer's dream. You know what I'm saying? They tell her exactly what her goal of a scene is. When she went to Tamara's birthday party, we're going to need you to talk to Shannon and Tamara about Vicky. We're going to need you to mention that. This is the first time all of you guys are together. And what did she do? She went right the hell in there and just made it happen. So when I watch Lydia, I watch her basically get her job done. Lydia wastes no time. But she has a natural, genuine way about doing it. I mean, she doesn't just jump in. Like, she finds a place in the conversation where it's appropriate to insert these little facts. So I think, and word on the street is that producers have asked Lydia to come back every year since she was on the show, that they didn't even want her to leave, and that Megan King Edmonds was a settle for them because they couldn't get Lydia the past couple of years. So
what is the draw with this girl?
Megan should have been gone this season, and I think she knew that. She knew that, so I think she amped it up, and that's how she ended up getting an orange again this year. But I would certainly believe this is her last. I fingers crossed, because one can only watch your husband hate you so much. There
are some that just hang on too long. I like Megan, but not as a full-time housewife and not in that capacity.
She's the perfect friend of, if you ask me. And Lydia, I think her and like Lizzie and or Gretchen would be like great little additions.
There's always room for Gretchen on this show. There's no reason why she shouldn't be on.
No reason. At least as friend of housewife, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Especially because now her and Vicky are cool. Like, how awesome would it be to like see them doing dinner and like talking smack on Tamara? Listen, I am waiting for the day that Gretchen just walks back up in here and shuts Tamara down. Like, the world will be a better place. You know what I mean? Gretchen needs to have her, I don't know, like not comeback, but like payback, I mean, for Tamara, let's be real.
Kind of short. Yeah, I think it's time for them to have her on, because to me, the way Lydia has been handling situations and the way she spoke with Shannon, she's almost like an uninvited guest. Like, can you get out of here? Like, we've been in the middle of this thick drama with Vicky and rumors, and now you're coming in here trying to get us to sit down and have lunch. Can you just go sit over there?
It's just like so obvious. Like, whenever they brought her back into the storyline with the ladies through a Bible study with Tamara. I'm sorry, I'm literally laughing. I was like, is that all you could come up with? Like, I honestly think that it would have been better to have them bump into each other at a restaurant or something. Like, that is the most unbelievable. Tamara and her Jesus storyline is the fact that Kenya Moore has not had breast implants is more believable. Let's just put it that way, you know?
There was an interview with Gretchen, and she said, everything that Tamra really does is for this show.
100%.
And she's become completely obsessed with storylines, and that's why she got into religion, so she'd be able to
It was a storyline.
appeal to a certain viewer and, gain sympathy. I don't know. I'd like to think I'm not completely duped by Tamra Judge, but I don't know. She's a tough one, but Vicky, we saw it play out. I think the two of them were maybe not on the most up and up. I don't know. Am I wrong?
It's one of two things. Number one, the options are that Tamra knows her role on the show is to either be Vicky's friend or Vicky's enemy. You can look back at previous seasons. She flip-flops back and forth. It's a cycle. And the thing is, it doesn't matter if they hate each other. It doesn't matter if they love each other. The viewers are there for it, regardless. They would prefer them to be friends because let's look back at Mexico for Tamara's Bachelorette. Was that like 4 years ago?
Right, yeah.
When Lydia was on, that one season with Lydia, and literally Tamara's on a taxi cab. I mean, Vicky's pissing her pants in a hotel room bed, but like they're all so drunk. That is what we love. That is fun. But if that's not going to happen, then Tamra knows it's either one extreme or the other. Yeah. They're either all in or they're all out. Mm-hmm. And it's either that Tamra knows that and that's what she plays into every year, or my friend has a theory that they just work together, that Tamra and Vicky are friends and that they are able to, feed into this facade that they create that either they're friends or they're not, whatever the storyline of the season may be. And that they do it to help each other out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of thought that from these ladies that goes into these shows every year. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is their money game.
Back to what I was saying with Atlanta. It's like, is this a show or is this for you to be an actress? It drives me crazy.
Well, this is not the place to come and claim your Emmy. Sorry about it. It's not going to happen, totally. So come and have fun, be authentic, But I will say Tamra does a very good job of making people feel that authenticity factor from her. And Tamra's a great housewife, bottom line. Tamra, she holds people accountable. She owns her half the time, sometimes.
If they ever did like a battle of the Housewives All-Stars, she would be on it. Tamra, she would fight. She'd be probably one of the finalists. If they were like an I Love Money Housewives,
like this is, I don't know. Tamra has had me blocked on Twitter for probably like 3 years now, maybe more. And sometimes I'm sad about it because there are times where I'll watch Tamra and I'm like, you're so funny. Like, she has great one-liners. Her zings are very funny. Her mom is cool to me. I think Eddie is hot as hell. If the rumors about him being gay are true, then yay for our team is all I have to say because, whew. But I don't know. Tamra, to me, I don't know. Like I said, her meal ticket is Vicky, and she knows that.
Right. What do you do to get blocked by the Housewives?
I got blocked by Tamra in the era of actually whenever Shannon first came on, because when Shannon's first season, a lot of people loved Shannon. She was fun. That was before the affair was revealed. It was party. And if you remember correctly, that season was when Tamra was like, Shannon's marriage is really, really bad. Like she was telling Heather all these things. Right, she was telling Shannon she wasn't saying those things. That's what turned me against Tamra that year, was her just outright lying to Shannon. And I will say this. The most recent episode, I think it was to Lydia or someone, Shannon said that Tamra is one of the best friends she's ever had. Shannon, I'm letting you know right now that will not last. And that will be, and probably next season or the year after that, the storyline will be Tamra versus Shannon for sure. Tamra will either flip flop and go back to Vicky, and it'll be them two versus Shannon. But Shannon, if Shannon thinks that Tamra is actually her friend, she's badly mistaken.
Who else on Twitter has blocked you? Anyone else?
Lisa Vanderpump and I have each other blocked.
Why.
Nene. I kind of hate that Nene and I have each other blocked too, because I feel like Nene and I could throw a little bit of fun shade at some of the other ladies back and forth sometimes. So that's a little unfortunate. But I do have a lot of great ladies that follow me too. A lot of their wives follow me, and I'm thankful for that.
What do you do to get them to block you?
I'm just honest. I'm honest. Yeah. That's real. I don't try to be mean. Like I'm never going to go out there and like, have I said mean things to them on Twitter? Sure. But half the time it's in response or a play off of a line that they had on the show. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since one has blocked me, but there are a few there. I will say more follow me than more have blocked me, so let's celebrate that.
There you go. Yes. Well, I want to talk to you now one-on-one and get some questions answered. And, I hope you'll be honest.
Okay.
You have to be honest. You need to be honest. Because that's not cool.
And now we said it.
Yeah, now we said, and I just love that moment. And then after that, I cut it out, but you just hear the high heels and she just
Grabbing that purse with fierceness.
Yeah. Yes, a classic Camille moment. So yeah, I want to talk to you, and I want to know, clearly you're not from LA. I love the Southern gentleman accent.
Thank you.
Got for the full hour or so. So what brought you to LA, and from where?
Okay, so I was originally raised in a very, very, very small town in North Carolina. Have you ever heard of the Andy Griffith Show?
I have.
Okay, so there's a little town in that show that's depicted called Mayberry. That is literally the town that I was raised in. And I lived in Charlotte, North Carolina for about 4 or 5 years. And then I was about to graduate. I knew that LA is where I'd wanted to be. I'd been out here for a few visits, and literally 2 days after I graduated, I hopped on a plane and it was a one-way ticket. I moved out here.
Wow.
But obviously I came out here with the same hopes and dreams and goals of most people that come out here. I want to be on TV. I would love to be an entertainment news reporter. I would love to be sitting and doing a one-on-one with Vicky Gunvalson about how terrible of a person Shannon Bedore is. And but, like I said, I came out here with the same hopes and goals of everybody, and this is the place to make them happen.
What was it like transferring from a small town to LA?
Well, thankfully, I had that little bit of intermission period in college where I was in a big city. Charlotte's the biggest city in North Carolina. So that helped prepare me a little bit. But needless to say, obviously Charlotte and LA are on two totally different levels. So, but I had been out here for a number of visits before. It made the transition much easier. But I was just so excited and eager to be here for years. There was nothing that could bring me down from coming out here. Literally 3 days after I moved here, I lost the job that I moved here for. And even that couldn't keep me. I was just bound and determined. This is where I want to be, And once I walked off that plane here, I was like, I will die before I go back. I didn't want to go back. So I'm happy to be here.
Committed, yeah. I mean, having to be, let go from a job or whatever like that, and having to recalibrate so early on. I mean, what do you do in that case?
Oh my God, I look back on it sometimes, and to be honest, I'm like, I don't know how I did it.
I know.
God, I guess. My friends coming to visit, family. People always say that it's about who you know in LA, and 100 of the 3 jobs that I've had in my entire time in LA, they were all given to me because of someone that I knew. And that's just the bottom line. It is all about who you know out here. So I was thankful to have a few contacts that, knew how important and how much it meant to me to live here. And they did everything they could to put me in contact with people and help me out. And I'm not even lucky. I'm blessed. I'm very thankful for that.
Right.
So, and I'm one of those people, whatever's meant to be will be. I've always known, part of me has always known this is where I was supposed to be. So when you think about it, to a week and a half, 2 weeks before you graduate, for a job opportunity to open up, to move to the city you always want to be in, for them to quit on you 3 days after and find other jobs after that. So many things, as bad as they have been, other things have fallen into those places. And it just leads me to believe this is meant to be. This is where I'm supposed to be. And things are happening the way they should.
Uninvited growing pains, it's stuff that you really don't need or want in your life.
And you don't want them for anybody,
Right.
But it makes you who you are, and it makes you stronger, and it gets you there.
I'm a Hollywood assistant. I know that you work as an executive assistant as well. So in what space do you work in?
Well, right now, my title is executive assistant to a creative director. I work for an interactive media company. They're called the Young Astronauts. We're based in Toronto. So most of our team's up there. We're a Canadian-based company through and through, but we have about 3 or 4 people in our LA team, one of which is my boss. We do a lot of cool stuff though. My boss is won a VMA with Ariana Grande for her, great. She directed Problem, Ariana's music video.
Nice.
We recently won a Cannes Lion Award for a project we did called Drake's Views last year. So I'm definitely in the presence of a lot of creative, strong, smart people. happy to be there. You know, I'm thankful for it.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the celebrity run-ins that you've had since you've been here.
Lord. Literally the day I moved here, I ran into Chris Colfer in Target. Literally. Yeah. So I'm not that's like a major, like, I'm not going to write home about that, right. But
you know, I am never looking, so I feel like anybody could be driving.
I'm always looking,
so I don't pay attention. I'm not. My mind isn't set to look. But because I've walked into a few people at Target too, then I'm like, oh yeah, like when I see the face, but it's just not on my mind to be like, oh, you should be looking. You're in an area.
Well, it's like I'm not necessarily always going to mention something, but my eye is always out. Just because you never know. Maybe that's part of where I came from, is like you never had that there, like the ability to just walk into someone. So having that here, I'm always on alert, you know?
Yeah.
And really, a lot of times when you think you don't meet people, it's because you don't pay attention to who's around you, you know? I mean, I was literally at the farmer's market like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, something like that. And Hillary Duff was 5 feet from me, you know? And had I not just been paying attention, I wouldn't have noticed the paparazzi sitting on the corner trying to remain low key. And then I was like, okay, well, someone's here. And then I look around and boom, there she is, you know? But it's definitely easy to run into people. I mean, I've literally was driving down the 101 one day, coming from the valley into the city for work one morning. And Lisa Vanderpump was driving her Rolls Royce next to me on her iPad while driving.
Oh.
And I submitted that to TMZ for a story, and they didn't pick it up, so I'm calling them out on that right now. Someone should have called her out for texting and driving, iPadding and driving.
Yeah, what a bad combo, TMZ and LVP.
I mean, hello.
Yes.
But even Amber Rose drove by her on the 101 one night. I think she was on Dancing with the Stars at the time. I was driving.
I need to look in people's cars. See, I've just been here too long. I feel like I'm not in that mindset. I'm kind of always in a mess in my own life. So I'm like just trying to get to point B, and that's it, you know?
Yeah.
Or just trying to get through this store because I have to get over here and find this.
Just want to get
space.
home.
Yeah. So I wish I was a little bit more open. Like my ex-roommate, who I really don't feel like mentioning, but he was really good at that. So much so that he did work for TMZ for a few days, but he would go and spot the people, and he knew like
he did one of their field producer roles that people do for like 5 days before they hate it and quit. Yeah, exactly. I did the same thing.
Yeah, so but he's very good at that. Like I'd be like clueless.
Yeah,
because he can pick up people from like a B-lister from the 80s, you know, and he'll like recognize.
You never know who you're gonna run. Even like in Ralph's and Van Nuys one day, I ran into Kim Whitley. You know, like she's not like a huge major like crazy celebrity, but it's like I recognized her nonetheless, and she was super friendly. And I mean, I've ran into like old American Idol alumni and like the Rouse and Sherman Oaks. I mean, I was driving next to Jay Leno on the 101 one day. But I mean, like, there are places like that where you can't really go and expect to run into people. But then, like, obviously there are places in LA like where you go kind of expecting to run into people.
Right.
Have you ever?
Go ahead.
Oh, have you ever heard of Craig's, the restaurant? Okay. I don't want people to like just start showing up there thinking that they're going to like meet people. Like you will see people. You probably won't meet them. You probably won't get a picture, but if anything, go for the food. The food is amazing. I highly recommend the chicken parm. It's life-changing.
Oh, I do like that. So yeah, these are some good places to check out if you're in LA and you want to see people.
Craig's. If you want to have a good dinner, don't go there to see the celebrities. You go there to have the dinner with the chance of seeing a celebrity. However, I will say this. I think in the last 2 years that I've been here, I've been there 7 times, and my record is 7 for 7. I've never been there and not seen someone, sat next to someone, talked to someone, got a picture with someone. I mean,
I need like you to go and be like, that's here. We pull up the wiki.
Yeah, okay,
unless if it's someone I really would recognize, but if it's someone that
you will recognize. So not the last time I was there, but the time before that, I'm literally sitting there. And we're at a little round table, and my back is kind of to the room of people, which sucks because I do like to believe that I'm a good spotter. Like even in the dark, I can point out some people. Yeah. But my back was to the crowd, so my friends were who I was depending on if someone came in. And we're sitting there. I'm literally like in the middle of putting a bite of food in my mouth, and my friend is like, Christian, look up. And I was like, what? And I look over my shoulder, and literally like 6 inches behind me is Lisa Rinna just standing there. And it was Harry's birthday, I think. And she was telling the waiter the instructions of when to bring out the cake to the table. And I was like, oh my God. So that was super cool. But that same night, the exact same night, about 30 minutes later, we're finishing up. And it was like the biggest wave of silence came over the restaurant. Like everyone just stopped talking. And you look at the door, and Stevie Wonder is walking in the door.
Oh, wow.
And it's like, I get chills just thinking about it. I'll remember that for the rest of my life. I had no interaction with him. We did not talk, I didn't talk to anyone at his table. But it was just like watching literally a legend, an icon walk into a room, and the entire building just responded to it by silence because they didn't know what else to do,
Wow, yeah.
Super cool. So, I mean, there's so many other people I've seen there. I can't even.
Yeah. I forget. Like, whenever I go home, people are like, do you see celebrities? And I'm like, I even hate to say yes, because, of course, the next question is going to be who. And I don't really remember. And it's some people that are maybe not considered a celebrity.
Exactly.
And especially, like, the people in Main Street, LA are not going to be your real A-listers.
Like, you're not going to run into Jennifer Aniston at Target. Or, it's not going to happen.
But you will see, like, a comedian that was on, like, Chelsea lately.
Exactly.
Because that's someone that you
or someone that's on a show
person.
that you might like, right. I mean, the Target across the street from my old apartment in Sherman Oaks was literally the Target that Kim Richards burglarized. And also apparently that is Kyle Richards goes there all the time. Apparently Anna Nicole Smith used to go to that Target a lot before she passed away. I mean, these aren't people that are like A-list, like movie stars, but there are people that if you saw them out in public, like it would mean something to you nonetheless. Yeah. So, Abby Lee Miller, Dance Moms. She's in prison right now.
Oh, I've run into her.
Hope your first week's going okay, boo-boo. Kisses.
I've run into that human roach, as I refer to
Where?
her.
She's so nice. Where did you see her?
H&M yelling at the people to get men's jeans off the wall. I don't know why.
Are you serious?
But yes.
So she reported to prison last Wednesday. I saw her out to dinner at Craig's Monday night. So I literally saw.
Getting it in.
Oh, she was getting that pre-prison vino. That wine was flowing. I was like, girl, you better. That's going to be a hangover tomorrow to recover from, and then you report Wednesday morning. Yep. I see your schedule.
Enjoy it while it lasts, honey.
But see, I knew that her time was coming up. I did not know until 2 days later when she reported that I had actually seen her in like what were her last few moments in public before. I really didn't know. I knew that it was leading up to it, but it's like even that, like that's crazy. Like I saw someone literally less than 48 hours before they reported to prison for the year. By going to dinner at Craig's with my friends.
Do you follow the Haley Reinhart story?
I heard about her getting kicked out of a bar. I don't know details though.
She came to my birthday and I didn't know who she was. She was a guest of a friend.
Wait, was it your birthday she got kicked out of?
No, I could only wish. But
no, she was my favorite on American Idol that year.
Yeah, she is the nicest, sweetest girl, I will say. I really enjoyed her.
So maybe just some
I don't know what happened, but but that was really kind of a cool experience because I've never had anyone notable really show up for anything for me. But that was nice, and I enjoyed meeting her. I hope that everything works out with her.
I'm sure it will. She probably just had a little too much to drink, and people knew who she was, and they tried to make a big deal out of it.
Turned on their cameras.
Yes, that's exactly what it was. She'll be fine. I mean, there are many more celebs who will mess up in the next 4 or 5 weeks, and people just forget all about that. I literally had forgotten about it.
Yes, totally.
Haley, you're fine, sweetie.
Yes. Well, I want to thank you guys for listening, and I want to give a special shout out to a Patreon subscriber. And as I mentioned, there's some good content exclusive to Patreon, and that's patreon.com/GrantsRants. I want to thank Ida Greenfield for
Ida. Yay.
For being a contributor. And I'm going to start shouting out to people that there's so many great supporters of this show. And, it means a hell of a lot to me. And especially if you're going to pay something like $2 or $3 a month extra to enjoy bonus rants, I love you for that. So I must acknowledge you and shout you out. Christian, where are you online and where can we follow you? Should we already not be blocked?
Yeah, no, nobody's blocked. Only some mean housewives. That's it. No one else is blocked. So Twitter, you can follow me _Christian G Snow. That's my username on there. And then Instagram, it's similar, just my first and last name _Christian Snow. But yeah, come talk some smack with me. Let's talk some housewives. Let's tweet with each other as things go down on TV. I would love
That's it. There's a lot to come,
Yes.
especially with OC. So
I mean, I will warn you in advance, a good 95% of my tweets are Bravo/Housewives related, just forewarning.
well, that's speaking our language.
Yes, it is.
On that note,
We're done. Please leave. I'm asking you to leave.
Please leave. Let me grab my bag and get out of here.
I love how dramatic that is. I think I'm going to end the shows with that from now on.
Thank you for just, not, as Shannon accused Heather of screaming at me and making me.
Oh, yeah. No screaming. Not yet. Well, that'll do it for us, folks. Continue to support the Rants. Thank you so much for listening, and there'll be more rants to come as always.
I'm asking you to leave.
All right, Heather, we're listening.
Bye, everybody.
This has been Grant's Rants. Support the Rants on Patreon. Follow us on Twitter @It's Grant's Rants. Cover art created by RHOA. Voiceover by Aw Yeah. Original theme music composed by Alexander Arntzen. The Grant Michael Collection.